Welcome back to Regen Rovers Recap. Today it is the review of my 5th season in charge of the club. It was a very good 5th season because we managed to get promoted from the National League South. 2nd successive promotion, and we're going to be playing in the National League Premier next season. This is how it finished. 90 points for Regen Rovers. 1 ahead of 2nd place Dulwich. It went down to the last day of the season. Those of you that watch the regular episodes will know that. Those of you that only watch the recaps won't know that. But yeah, it was quite a magnificent achievement. First season at this level, and we aced it. We really did. Look at the results over this period. By the way, the last game of the season, we managed to get 1,025 people into the ground to see us lift that trophy, thanks to Alec McCann and Paul McCann on the day. What a brilliant end to the season as well. All those wins, couple draws, very few defeats this season. If I just have a look at the league in a bit more detail, we got the 2nd highest number of wins, the most number of goals, I think. Yeah, 91 goals scored, which is just incredible. Goals defensively, not the best. But it didn't matter because we scored so many goals. We had the 2nd best goal difference. But at the end of the day, we got the most points. And we were in the playoff zone for the entirety of the season. We were first for quite a substantial period in the middle of the season. Dropped back a bit before rising to the top once again. We'll have a quick look at the stats whilst we're here, actually. So Alec McCann, top goal scorer. 28 goals this season in 42 appearances, which is very, very impressive. He also managed to get the 2nd highest number of assists in the league. And who else is on this list? Distance covered, Godwin and Higgins. If we go to the detailed list, I always find this fascinating looking at this. Player of the Match awards. So we've got Higgins and Alec McCann on there with 7 Man of the Match awards each. Paul McCann's on the list as well. Distance covered, like I said, Godwin, Higgins are seen. We've got some hard workers in the team. Perry Webb actually covered the most ground per match though. He did have a few injuries, which is why he's not at the top of the previous statistic. But yeah, per match, 13.19 kilometres. Incredible. Higgins on there, Owusu, Asini as well. Average rating-wise, Higgins, McCann, Perry Webb, Samuel Asini on that list. Defensively, Avison once again solid at the back. There's Alec McCann, Paul McCann also on the top goal scorer list here. Average minutes per goal, McCann 2nd best in the league with Paul McCann 16th. Shots on targets, a bit more interesting. Alec McCann, Paul McCann and Agu all on that list. Shots on target percentage, Alec McCann our best player, just ahead of Paul McCann. Conversion rate, Alec McCann 8th. David Okoro on the penalties list. He's missed his first ever league penalty. So it's the first time he hasn't picked up a 100% record. This is, wow, a player managed to get scored 10 out of 10 penalties. Not bad at all. Assists-wise, Alec McCann, Paul McCann, Marcus Higgins on there. Key passes, Marcus Higgins top 100 key passes this season with Godwin, Webb, Asini and Paul McCann all in the top players as well. Chances created, Paul McCann created 22 chances this season with Marcus Higgins and Asini next. We've had some, I mean, obviously we won the league, so we're going to be on these lists, but we really did have quite an incredible season. Perry Miles, actually, really good pass completion rate. Cross completion rate, Owusu on there, Perry Webb, Godwin. Dribbles per game, we're not about dribbling, are we? That's not our style. But yeah, really impressive stuff this season. I will update the player spreadsheet with all the awards, which I'll show you in a second. But most appearances this season was David Okoro, 52 appearances, just 1 ahead of Avison, who appeared in 51 games, and Alec McCann as well, in fact, in 51. Goals-wise, Alec McCann has broken Luke Mooney's record for number of goals in one season. 34 goals scored in his 51 appearances this season. It's very impressive. Paul McCann 18, Agu 17, then it's Perry Webb, Sean Walker on there, Godwin, Owusu, Josh Mann with 5 goals. Josh Mann got the same number of goals as Okoro. A goalkeeper got 5 goals. Did miss a couple penalties this season, so he could have had more. But the goals were really shared around. There was very few players in the first team that didn't actually manage to score. Assists-wise, Alec McCann top with 16. So if you're voting for Player of the Season award on Twitter, Regen Rovers Twitter, then sure, you got to say, I mean, I know his average rating is not as good as Marcus Higgins, but top goals, top assists, incredible stuff from Alec McCann. He got us promoted, basically. Marcus Higgins, though, 15 assists. Another very impressive season from our 20-year-old right back, who's also a captain, of course. A senior at left back, another exceptional season from him, 11 assists. Paul McCann up there, 28 goal contributions this year. That is really good. Perry Webb, Godwin, Owusu up there with the assists as well. I mean, Courtney, our second choice right back, 4 assists in 10 games. Not bad at all. And it does mean his average rating is high. And Forrester just about missed. Remember my rule on my player spreadsheet? You have to have appeared 10 times a season. I probably could increase that, but I've said 10 times a season you'll appear on that spreadsheet if you're in the top 3. So Marcus Higgins will appear as the first choice, the best average rating. Then it's Callum Courtney, even though he only just scraped 10 appearances, and then Alec McCann. But shout out to Perry Webb. What a signing he has been. Great central midfielder, our best midfielder this season, most consistent midfielder as well. That's evident from his average rating. I mean, there were some, Morgan Falk, 6.65. I know he mainly comes off the bench. Jason McGee as well, not the best. John Curry didn't really, why is this? The man of the match was actually from the under-23s, but only appeared 3 times. Josh Mann, little bit disappointing this season. Perry Miles, he improves every season. His attributes are really good, and I think he's probably our third best central midfielder. I do go into more detail in the Regen Rovers Revelations episode 10 video that I released earlier, if you want to have a look at the players in a little bit more depth. But yeah, I don't know how to get the best out of Perry Miles. How do I get him to perform like Godwin and Owusu and in particular Perry Webb? He's got similar ability. He just can't seem to get those average ratings higher, which is a shame. Not so good from the defenders this season, but we were playing at a higher level. I do think we need to assign a much better centre-back to play alongside Avison. Keane's got the pace, but he doesn't really have much else. Looking at the under-23s quickly, I'll just quickly skip through. This is the under-23s and under-18s, if I just put them in. The records are the same. So, most appearances, Galvin. Goals-wise, John Curry, top of 28. Then Josh Mann. So, he scored plenty of goals in the under-23s still. And look at the appearances. That is very impressive. Assist-wise, Carl Forrester, top with Callum Courtney. Our second choice fullbacks, of course. Man of the match awards to Carl Forrester. Top average rating. Very few games played, so ignore those top ones. Josh Mann, he does it at this level. He just can't seem to do it in the first team. Maybe reserve team football is his level. I'm sure this is what you're most interested in. The overall best 11, all the season awards and that sort of thing. So if I just go through the years. This is the first season, the best 11, playing a 4-4-2. We then moved to a 4-2-4, essentially. That was the best 11 in the second season. Third season, 4-3-3 was our predominant. This was the first season we played 4-3-3 predominantly. And, that lineup up front, Mooney, Agu, McCann, legendary front 3. And then last season, Josh Mann, McCann and Agu up front. But this season, we've really found a top quality striker in Alec McCann. It's a shame he's only on loan. I will try and get him on loan again. As I mentioned in the Revelations video, Ebbsfleet won $130,000 for him. Is his contract up? It is up. So if they don't, I imagine they will renew it. If they don't renew it, then we could possibly get him, but it's unlikely, let's be honest. But best 11 this season: Okoro and goal, Higgins, Avison, Keane, Orsini, Webb, Godwin, Owusu, McCann and Agu. You can't argue with that. The bench: Corey Hines, Sean Walker, Perry Miles, Ray Rigg, Callum Courtney, Constant. Now, this is... I noticed this in the Revelations video, and for those of you that don't watch that, he's left. Konstantinos Konstantinos. I didn't realise. He left in December and I just didn't notice. I'm an idiot. Anyway, overall best 11 is this. So Okoro and goal, who has now made the second highest number of appearances for the club behind Sean Walker, who's got 196 appearances under his belt. He is in that midfield best 11, as you'd expect. Back 4 of Higgins, Avison, Keane and Halliday. Now, the reason why Halliday is there, I think, is because Orsini is naturally a right back and the game would want to put him right back, but because Higgins is really good, he can't be there. And it doesn't have the intuition to stick Orsini at left back, even though that's where he always plays. So that is my explanation for that, because Orsini's made more appearances and he's also got a much better average rating than Rob Halliday. Midfield then, legend that is Sean Walker. We've got Godwin and Perry Miles in there as well. His average rating is poor, but he's in there probably because of the number of appearances he has made. And then up front, That is some strike force. Agu, McCann and Fawkes. Unfortunately, Fawkes he's actually scored 51 goals. This is wrong. But Fawkes just isn't at that level anymore where he can produce. He scored 1 goal this season, so his record of scoring in every single season for us continues. And I hope that continues for a long time. You know, I will give him the odd game in next season. Probably the Hampshire Senior Cup will be his competition. Let's be honest. But Alec McCann's on that list. He's actually ahead of Luke Mooney. Because, of course, Luke Mooney only had 1 full season at the club and he got less goals. So he has moved ahead of Luke Mooney on that substitute bench. A senior on there. Ray Rigg. Lots of appearances for him. Tom Reaney's still on there. He's retired. As has Matty Ratty. He's retired as well because he couldn't find a club. Thomas Smith's still on there. I think I'm going to have to release him. He's just not good enough. And Aaron Trollope has failed to produce it at Horsham YMCA. They've released him, so he still doesn't have a club. I'm kind of tempted to sign him, but third time signing him, he's not good enough to be our backup. We do need... I mean, I'd love it if he became a coach. That would be great. I'm kind of hoping he finds another club, but I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't happen. We'll have a look then at the records, which doesn't always update. Agu has scored the most league goals, so that has updated, 80 goals. He's got 87 goals in all competitions, of course. Now, this is wrong. I don't know why most league appearances it's saying 200 for Morgan Fawkes. Why is this so wrong? How is it wrong? I just don't know. Sean Walker's still our most expensive transfer. I think it's the only time we've ever spent any money, to be honest. 1k on Sean Walker all those years ago. Alec McCann, most overall goals by a player in 1 season, so that's updated. And league goals as well, he's got that record. Highest average rating, that's Marcus Higgins, 7.48. Youngest player still Willie Young. Oldest player still Chef, who of course is our coach these days and drives a coach, cooks for us, does everything. Fastest goal, still a Paul McCann goal back in 2021. There's some great records. There's some good names here. I mean, Okoro's on that list, of course. League positions. The lowest this season was 6th, which is incredible for our first season at this level. Now, our average rating, highest attendance this year, was broken in the FA Cup first round against Boreham Wood. 1,901 people turned up. That is fantastic. And the highest gate receipts as well as a result. Lowest attendance, 231 versus Petersfield, but that's the Hampshire Senior Cup. The average attendance has certainly improved, and I hope it continues to improve next season. Now we're at the National League Premier level, but that is a massive increase on last season, and it was helped by the last game of the season where over 1,000 people turned up. Results-wise, biggest win this season, 6-2 versus Weymouth. Most matches won in a row, 11 this year. That is special. Most matches without conceding. Didn't break that record without scoring, and that's not a record we don't want to look at. Most overall goals by a player in a season, Alec McCann. What a season from him. Really impressive stuff. So the player to win Player of the Season award, Marcus Higgins with 74%. That is huge. That is the biggest one we've ever seen, and I'm surprised by that because Alec McCann was sensational. But I think it helps that Marcus Higgins is already a fan favourite. He's already on the favoured personnel list. And that is why he's got such a big... For me personally, Alec McCann is my player of the season. Without him, we'd have had no chance of even getting into the playoffs, I don't think. Perry Webb signed another season. Can't disagree with that. He's been brilliant. And Marcus Higgins picks up Young Player of the Season again because he's still under 21. Goal of the season then. I think I'm going to do another Goal of the Season award video. But let's see what the game's decided. It is an Alec McCann goal, so Goblin crossed in. What is this goal? It has automatically given it to the overhead kick goal. You know, the keeper maybe should have done better, but it is just incredible how he did that. It really is. Season review, first round of the FA Cup, not bad at all. FA Trophy, third round. We had some good cup runs this year. Semi-final of the Hampshire Senior Cup as well. Really not bad. Let's have a quick look at the squad dynamics, shall we? So, hierarchy. So, we've had an improvement. We had very few influential players, but as the players get older, they've been at the club longer. We've now got 2 team leaders, Walker and Fawkes, from that first season. They're at the top of that tree. They're both not starters these days, but it's good to have a couple team leaders now because we struggled before without any. Highly influential players are Okoro, Paul McCann, Agu and Higgins. Higgins is captain. The other 3 have been here a long time. Influential players are Senior and Avison. Then we've got that other group. Let's have a look at the social group. So everyone's in the core social group apart from Owusu and Alec McCann. I guess Alec McCann is a loanee, but it's strange that Owusu's in there. Maybe some of the under-23s would be in here if I included them, but we're just looking at the first team here, I suppose. So I've just continued one day, and our managing director, our new managing director, of course, Sakim Diggin, great name by the way, has said we need to expand the stadium, 200 seats. We're not expanding the capacity because that's 5,000, but we need more seats to comply with National League standards, which is a bit of a worry because £30,000 will not be much good for our finances, which is in a bit of trouble anyway, isn't it? Hopefully everything will improve when we get more people through the door, and perhaps I need to get rid of some of our under 23 and under 18 players as well. They're not going to improve the youth category, are they? They're just not going to, no. We just don't have the money. I mean, we've got new owners, and yeah, they paid off our debts, but suddenly we're over 100 grand in debt once again after about 5 months. We're just spending too much money. It's not necessarily my fault because I've been given that money to spend. That's the thing. We're spending under the wage bill by 2 grand. They just have both boards, Jack Young firstly, and our new chairman, Darren King. I've clicked on the wrong button. They've just given us too much money. So the National League South Player Final has just been played. Dulwich Hamlet have been promoted with us to the National League Premier. So we're going to meet them next season as well. Let's have a look at all the divisions. I always tend to do this at the end of the recap. So the English Premier League won by Man City this season. They won the first season, then Liverpool, Man United, Liverpool, now Man City again. Relegated Huddersfield, Preston and Cardiff. Championship will be here one day, hopefully. Fulham, Leeds. The playoff final hasn't been played yet. That's between Crystal Palace and Sheffield Wednesday. League One, Norwich and Sheffield Wednesday. Oh, what? Sheffield Wednesday? Did I read the wrong thing there? Sheffield United. Oh, sorry, Sheffield United fans. But yeah, you might be going up to the Premier League just as Sheffield Wednesday go up to the Championship with Norwich, Luton Town and Fleetwood in that final. Colchester randomly chosen over Peterborough after both teams finished on 64 points with the same record. Wow, that is, basically the same. Although Colchester won more games, so maybe it should be based on how many games you win if it goes down that far. Charlton, Cheltenham, Bury and Blackpool relegated to League 2, where we saw Lincoln City, Notts County and Forest Green go up. Barnet versus Oxford in the playoff final with Mansfield and Yeovil going down to the National League. And we're going to be playing those two teams next season. Has the National League been decided? It hasn't yet. In fact, I'm going to holiday one more day just to see who we're going to be facing in the National League. Salford have gone up. We won't be facing them. Oh, by the way, Marcus Hickins has beaten his own record of the highest average rating in one season. Alec McCann, top average rating in the FA Trophy. Player of the season. Oh, come on. It should have been one of our lads. Sean Talbot wins it. What position does he play? Attacking midfielder. 17 goals, 6. Alec McCann has a better record. McCann wins top goal scorer award though. Well done to him. And manager of the season. I mean, I should win it, shouldn't I? I'm going to vote for the worst one. Who's got the lowest record? Because then hopefully people will vote for me and I'll win the manager. This is my tactics. This is what I do. Oh, Alec McCann, you're a nice lad, aren't you? Dedicating the award to me. So that's the National League. No, it's not quite. It's going to be played later today. There we go. It's been played. So Chester have gone up with Salford. AFC Fylde, Dover, Maidstone and Kingstonian relegated. So those are the teams we will, along with, who was it? Yeovil and Mansfield. All these other teams will be facing the likes of Chesterfield, Accrington, Stanley once again, Dagenham and Redbridge, York City, Eastleigh. We're going to be playing these. That's a local derby, of course. Can we stay up? National League North going up. Also, Kettering and Hereford. So we're going to be playing Hereford again. With Alfreton spending one, St Neots Town going down. Let's just go down and look at the 7th tier. I won't go below this, but this is the Isthmian League Premier Division. You can see the team. The playoffs haven't been played yet, but Cray have been promoted. Northern Premier Division, Whitby Town have gone up. The English Southern League Premier, Central Cambridge City have gone up. And then our old division, Winchester. They're trying to play catch up, aren't they? That is, what an interesting journey Winchester have had, by the way. Our rivals, of course. They got relegated in the first season down to the 9th tier, got promoted to the 8th tier, got promoted in the second season in at that level. Pretty unlucky in that first season, and they've had 2 successive promotions themselves. It's almost like the game's done this on purpose to have some sort of story here, because Winchester City, they're not, in real life, I think they're playing in the 8th tier, I think. So they're not that amazing a team, but they've caught up. They've gone up to the National League South. If they go up again and we stay in the National League, there's a bit of a story here developing, I think. And of course, we lost the Hampshire Senior Cup final against them. They're a good team. They've actually got some really good players, and I don't really know why. It might be, but we're going to be fighting for the same youth prospects because of the area that we're in. It really is an interesting story, I think. FA Cup hasn't been played yet. That's Man City versus Everton. League Cup, West Brom beat Newcastle in the final. Charity Shield, Man City beat Liverpool. Fleetwood beat Luton in the Football League trophy, the Johnson's Paint Trophy, whatever you want to call it. The FA Trophy, York City thrashed Hartlepool to win it 2 times in a row. This is something we want to try and win. And we got to the 3rd round, remember. So after that, it would have been the quarterfinal or 4th round. We weren't far off. We had a good run, I think. Starting in the 3rd qualifying round, getting to the 3rd round. Not bad at all. Southern League Cup, competition we don't take part in anymore. That final hasn't been played yet. It's between Cambridge City and Evesham. And the Hampshire Senior Cup, Basingstoke won it in the end, beating Aldershot in the final. I'm determined to win this at some point. We'll always compete in this, even in the Premier League. Of course, I'll put out a very weak team when it comes down to that. If we get to the Premier League, of course, we might not. We might never get there. I haven't looked at the Champions League, I don't think yet, but these are the past winners. So we've English dominance. Man United, City, and Liverpool have won it, along with PSG. This season's final is Liverpool versus Atletico Madrid. So Liverpool could win it for a 2nd season in a row. The Europa League final between Chelsea and Valencia. So yeah, Chelsea have won it. Napoli, Man United, and Valencia. English dominance in Europe. It seems to happen, doesn't it? European Championships. Have I shown this? Italy won the 2020 final against Spain. But the World Cup, we had the Winter World Cup, which won't have affected us because we're playing in the National League South. But England managed to win the Winter World Cup in Qatar. 3-2 in the final. Yeah, it was in December. Look at that. It's so strange seeing that. But yeah, Argentina miss out again. And I don't think Messi was around at this point. That's quite funny, really. They got to a final with that. Although I suppose they did get to a final with Messi when he was playing. But yes, England. Raheem Sterling. Reece Oxford scoring. And Phil Foden with the winning goal. I mean, there's a lot of wonder kids in England right now. But yeah, I mean, that's an interesting team. Pickford in goal. Joe Gomez in Oxford. We've got Lewis Cook in there. Foden. Grealish is in there. Harry Maguire coming off the bench. Lingard and Rashford. Ryan Sessegnon. Harry Kane, of course, the striker. How's he getting on? 58 goals and 87 caps for England. What a player. I mean, I just, looking at these, this is the first time I've actually looked at a world-class player on their save, I think. The difference between this and, no offence Agu, but it is a remarkable difference, isn't it? But Agu one day, he's going to be up there. We got to believe. But I think we'll end today's video there. Thank you for watching it. We are the champions of the National League South. We have got promoted to the National League. How are we going to get on? Let me know your thoughts on how you think we will get on in the National League Premier next season. But until next time, enjoy FM19. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you very soon.